Hello, fantasy football world. It's me, Carmen and Tenny. Today we're going to be going over our favorite recent trades in the league community, and we're going to be doing our this or that. So stay tuned, and let's get started right into it.
All right, here we are in our this or that. We're going over some trades on which sides AJ and I are going to be taking. I mean,
Besides Carmen and
Kenny are going to be taking. Hopefully, we still have some viewers right now because that was a little bit of a different
Very
intro.
Unlikely.
Yeah, make sure you like and subscribe and everything before that. Maybe we'll keep mixing it up, or comment down below who you want to see in the next one. But we'll dive straight into these trades, start talking some football. Kareem Hunt and Courtland Sutton are the first two names. Kareem Hunt hasn't been in like the fantasy realm in a while. He's just emerged as kind of a relevant player right now, and Sutton is on that other side. Straight up, I kind of made all these trades with kind of like the opportunity of like you don't really know what your team looks like, so you're just trying to choose the better half. So assuming these are going to your flexes, which side would you rather have?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't remember necessarily how long Pacheco is out. I know he's still quite a few weeks, or maybe not quite a few, but at least a couple weeks still. Right now, I honestly think I'm going Kareem Hunt over Courtland Sutton. I think Hunt will have more guaranteed touches for these next couple weeks. If you're starting either of these players, your flex is probably not in good shape anyway, and I'd much rather start Kareem Hunt going forward than Courtland Sutton. I just don't really trust that Broncos offense quite yet. We haven't seen much success anywhere, running the ball, throwing the ball, any of it. Dude, Bo Nix had like -7 passing yards through the first half of last game. Like, I don't know. I trust the Chiefs offense more. I think they're a similar archetype of player, both fairly old, both probably on their last legs. If I had to get, maybe Sutton a little bit more, but Sutton more in terms of he'll play for a little bit longer. But I'd rather have Hunt.
I think it is like your mindset on that injury, and then also just, I guess, like how good your running backs would be too. But 100% siding with that Hunt side. Looks like it's going to be like I just looked at it, a 6 to 8 week return
definitely
for Pacheco, but he had surgery. He broke his fibula. I'm like, isn't that what happened to Tank Dell last year? And he missed the whole year. Like, there's been some speculation that Pacheco might not even like be back this year. So
yeah, with that information, it's definitely Hunt.
Like Hunt, he's gonna be that pivotal role in the offense. They just lost Rice too. I think that even like shoots up his value even more too. It might be messy. Like, we don't know what it's gonna look like with Clyde. And also Steele. Like, could be a 3-headed monster, but he looked like they trusted him right away. I watched like all of like one of those videos where it was like his every snap or every run. And the last play that was in there was like this trick play shuffle that they like hit him on. Like, it was like a design like end around, and then Mahomes like shuffled it 4 yards in front of him, like into like the offensive line, and started running like on the goal line. It was one of those plays. It was like, well, that's pretty tough to learn, but he already knows that, and
he already
obviously has that established trust. So I don't really have any harmful.
Don't have a hard time going with Kareem Hunt here. Back to Kevin.
Yeah, me either.
The next one. Are we okay? I just want to clarify what's going. Actually, this honestly is a reasonable trade, maybe in every scenario. But I'm assuming this is like redraft trades or what?
Yeah, these are all redraft trades.
So I assume.
And correct. So
I am most certainly. God, I started off so hot, and now I'm second guessing myself.
Tyreek Hill or Garret Wilson and Bucky Irving.
I think my first thought was Garret Wilson and Bucky Irving. Honestly, do we even really know? Like, I know he's on IR and it's going to be a couple of weeks, but like, it's possible Tua's out for longer than that if they want to play it safe with him, especially if they're not doing very well. They could very easily just for an extended period of time. And with the quarterbacks he's had, Hill has not been able to produce. And on the other side, like, Wilson hasn't been extraordinary, but I think the upside of Bucky Irving is really actually quite nice. Like, he's looked, I don't know if you've watched the games at all, he's looked really good every time I've watched him. So I think I'm leaning the Wilson Irving side.
I mean, I like Irving, I got these all from like a actual trade website too. The real one wasn't as enticing as Irving. I was like, I feel like it almost has to be a little bit better because I'm assuming Tua is going to come back at some point, and it would be kind of a smash for the Hill side. I wouldn't think as like Irving's going to be having that starting role in the next couple weeks, but like maybe down the line he will be. These are tough. Like, the connection could keep improving with Garret Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. Bucky Irving eventually could get that starting job, but Tua comes back. Like that's Tyreek Hill and Tua. Like that's the best receiver in the league. So that's so hard to pass up on. But oh man, like I think this is actually
It's
pretty
tough.
even. I think I'm gonna go with
It's tough.
Tyreek Hill because I personally
All right.
believe
All right.
that Tua's gonna be back week 8. I think that's when he's slated to return off IR. He's already asymptomatic, and the NFL
Sure.
runs on money. They're losing money
Yeah,
every single time
that's
that
true.
Tua doesn't play. He's verbally said that he wants to be back too. Like I don't see why they wouldn't. Like yeah, it's a health risk and it sucks that he could like hurt himself long term. But if he wants to and he's cleared medically, people are gonna let him play.
Yeah, you're probably right. I think I might like really like Bucky Irving. I think that's really what sold this for me. I think I'm like
I think I
just
really
watching
like
him play.
Bucky.
I think he's so sick.
I really like Bucky too, and I whiffed so hard on my dynasty ads, like
Yeah, me
the
too.
waivers after the draft. So that
Yeah.
stinks. The next
Moving on.
trade.
Interesting. Mark Andrews and Chuba Hubbard, however you want to go about saying it, for Brock Bowers. This is interesting. I want you to go first this time.
Okay, so I have Andrews in my redraft. I drafted him a couple areas in redraft. I'm still holding out that hope he's just going to become relevant because he's still he's still playing and he's still playing a pivotal role in this offense, like whether it's blocking or just being a distraction or something.
Mhm.
But like you really can't start him. Like I tried looking for a different stream this week because you just can't take another 0 in your lineup where get some points and like maybe that potential Devontae Adams trade like changes this too. I'm kind of on the side that if Adams is traded, it's gonna hurt Bowers, where he's gonna be the focal point in the offense. A rookie tight end, that's kind of unheard of, and I'm assuming they're gonna be converting less first downs. That means less time on the field, less yardage, less opportunities to score points too. So I'm gonna stick with the player that has been super good in his career and is on a better team, and then you kind of get that short-term rental in Chuba too. Maybe Brooks is not it too. So I'm gonna go on that left side.
All right, interesting. I am 100,000% on the right side. Actually, I saw this and I thought I would absolutely smash this if I had Andrews and Chuba. I would for sure go for Bowers. I get what you're saying, where maybe he'll draw more attention if Adams is there and all that. But Bowers is putting up decent points. Andrews, I watch like every Ravens game at this point strictly because I'm addicted to Zay Flowers and I have Lamar Jackson. I just seeing him there, he just looks old and bad. Like it's like he's a shell of himself. Like the one thing that I saw is like he had a wide open like 15-yard pass. I'm sure you saw it, and he just dropped it. He just full dropped it, and it just seems like this is the type of thing that happens. What it seems like is like he's almost like lost that confidence and like that feeling like he's that guy because he doesn't get the work anymore and he's sharing time and doing all that stuff. That's what it feels like to me. I just don't know if he'll ever get back to being that stud elite guy and that like number one target. And with Chuba, I think, he'll be good for this 2 weeks or however long now that you got him. But what you're really looking for, especially this year, is a tight end that scores points because they've been kind of so bad. And I think Bowers is that. So I'd go Bowers.
Yeah, I definitely whiffed on my take of Andrews was my favorite tight end going into the league. A lot of people thought that. And
that wasn't like an incredibly hot take. It's just something changed. I don't know what it is.
I think I know what it is, and he was injured last year. He had a serious injury where we underestimated that, and we didn't think how long it's actually going to take to recover and then acclimate to being on the playing field again. Where that's true. A couple of years ago when Burrow was hurt and he was playing terrible, and then like week 5 or 6 or whatever it was, it clicked and he was back to being elite. I'm holding out hope for that, but that's just me too.
We shall see. We shall see. Boy, my man is here. Mr. Zay Flowers is on the screen, and it's for Tee Higgins.
We couldn't do one Ravens trade.
Oh,
we had to have both.
I mean, I'll go first. At this current moment in time, if I had to make this call right now, I would probably take Tee Higgins. I guess we don't know quite yet. I've got this feeling that Bengals passing offense is going to be more consistent than the Ravens. You'll get more volume that way, making Tee Higgins have that higher upside and probably that lower or that higher floor as well. So it's just a safer play. I think Flowers will have like those pop-off weeks like he had 2 weeks ago when he, had that really nice week. But I think Higgins is just a safer play. So I'd have to go Higgins, which makes me sad.
I'm also on that Higgins side. It's interesting. I actually have Higgins. You have Flowers. I think like Higgins' value's been slowly rising because he was hurt and Burrow's been playing bad, but they're slowly getting better. I'm gonna take the player that's on the offense that can't really run the ball, and it's gonna go through the quarterback and the wide receivers versus having Derrick Henry on the team, which it's looking like it's just going to be the Derrick Henry show for the Ravens, and Lamar Jackson doing it on his own with his legs too. So I'm going with Higgins, but I'm really happy that you're finally experiencing the Zay Flowers treatment that I had last year and why I was out on him for the whole off season.
My entire thing is I still think he's a really good football player. Like a very good football player. I think just the way the Ravens offense works, it's this ride that I'm on right now. This ride that I'm on, the great week, not use it all. Great week, not use it all. It's just the way that it's going to be with him. And you have to just play him every week because you can't miss out on the good weeks, but you're going to have to eat the bad weeks too. That's kind of Zay Flowers in a nutshell, it feels like.
Yeah, it's just so annoying. Like, I'll take some dud weeks. I only want to accept those dud weeks when like the offense is actually terrible and nothing's happening for that team where it's like, man, they just had a really bad game. I understand why my player didn't perform. Rather than they go out and drop, 40 points on the Bills, and you're like, well, okay, Flowers should have had a great game, but he did nothing. Like, that would infuriate
It's frustrating. He's still like my favorite player, so it's all good. I still love you, Zay.
But you're trading him.
I would trade him here. Yeah, I definitely would in redraft. I would definitely get rid of him. Ooh, this is actually an interesting one because I'm not too exposed to any of these players, so I don't have any sort of feelings for like anything here. Normally, I have a strong feeling about it, but it's Terry McLaurin and Devin Singletary for Joe Mixon. Mixon is coming back this week, correct? At least seemingly.
Yeah. So we had Mixon had that great week 1. It looked like he was like, man, how did I miss this guy? Prolific offense. Since he's been out, like Texans haven't looked super good. I mean, they haven't been playing really good. Nico's been really good, and I don't really know how to feel about the Texans. Like maybe there's too many mouths to feed. I don't really want a piece of it. And then on the other side, Terry, he had a pretty rough start too, but Jaden Dallin is improving. Looks like he's actually trusting him more, taking some more deep shots. He could just continue to rise and be good. Devin Singletary's just been mediocre. Like he's gonna get you like that solid points every week.
Yeah,
but I really have no idea what I want to do for this one either. So
this is a type of trade that almost is entirely. I know we're not supposed to be doing it this way, but almost feels like it's team dependent. Like a team like mine in redraft, where I've got quite a few spots that could be filled. Right, like I got Keon Coleman and Wan'Dale Robinson rocking in my flex right now. This would be the type of trade that I would make, and I would go the Terry McLaurin and Devin Singletary side. However, if I'm feeling pretty good about my depth, Joe Mixon is more of a hammer type player where he can put up big weeks, whereas these two probably won't do that as much. But if I think in a vacuum, if I had to pick one of these, I probably go Joe Mixon.
Let's say the two players, Terry and Devin versus Joe Mixon, who has more value between those three players?
I mean, it's so tough to say. That's what's hard for me. I mean, I feel like probably Terry McLaurin and Devin Singletary are technically more value. And I feel like Joe Mixon has a very good niche spot, not niche, but like on teams like where they need a big play guy. They need a guy that's going to put up big weeks. Whereas like if you just need some help all around, I'd rather go the left side. This is from what we've done so far. This feels like a trade where truly it's team dependent. I like both sides.
Yeah, it's like this is a great example of just this would work out for both teams.
Yeah,
one
100%.
team gets an RB upgrade. One team gets some more depth. It's a win-win. It's
so hard.
I have no idea. I think I'm gonna go Terry and Devin. We don't know how good Jaden Daniels is gonna be. It looks like they're unlocking him more. I'm gonna take the shot on that. And then also Devin is like a pivotal piece in that Giants offense where like he is the second player that's probably gonna touch the ball the most.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Big weeks. So I'm gonna go with the left side.
Ooh, no. Okay. All right. Montgomery and Aaron Jones for Saquon Barkley. This feels similar to the last one.
Yeah, do you want that depth? Or I personally think like Saquon is that RB1 this year, almost.
Yeah, like he could legitimately be the RB1.
Like
Alvin Kamara is the number one player in all of football, all of fantasy football, more than the quarterbacks. So that is not the case. Saquon,
I would personally just have more confidence starting Saquon every week.
Going forward, yes, 100%.
Then
I think I do lean the Saquon side because he is that type of guy who has the literal RB1 upside. Like, this is the type of guy you want on your team. This is, like, I get it, the Monty and Aaron Jones, like, good depth, put up, like, solid amount of points. But the Saquon is the type of guy where you're like, I would love to have this guy on my team. I'm always confident that like he can blow up. He could be the RB1. That's the guy that you have depth like this for, so you can get a guy like Saquon.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Saquon too. It's almost like that, like Aaron Jones and Monty could have a bad game, but the teams play good. Just like I was talking about with Zay Flowers, where it's pretty frustrating. You're like, what happened? But if the Eagles play good, I feel like you can guarantee that Saquon's going to be a beast in fantasy.
Yep.
So I'm going with that
100%.
Saquon side. It's just that confidence that he's going to have in your lineup. It's just game changing.
Yeah, definitely. Here we got another interesting one. Justin Jefferson for Kenneth Walker, who just had a huge week, and Chris Godwin, who has been pretty solid. Do you know where you're going? I think you should go first on this one.
I don't really know. I mean, I didn't really think about these. I was just looking at them on that recent trade site, and I was like, wow, this looks like a good one. It also like had like an evaluation of like the values too, and it was pretty even. But for this one, I'm gonna bank on history that like Sam Darnold is gonna be falling off soon, and Godwin's been looking so good. Like Baker's been looking good. Walker, one of my favorite players right now, just how cool he is, and just like a pivotal role in that offense. Like he's so much better than Charbonnet, where like immediately, probably a little injured, he puts up 3 touchdowns against the Lions. Like that's pretty crazy, man. But like, yeah, Jefferson.
Tough. The way I'm trying to think about it is like
But yeah, But yeah, I think I have to side with the Walker and Godwin side, because those are 2 starters right there versus 1 starter. And so far, Godwin has showed that he could put up as good as weeks as Jefferson, and then you get Walker on top. Like Walker's probably scoring as much as Jefferson every week, and then you get Godwin on top of that. So I'm going with that side.
No, I do. That's a good way to think about it. I was kind of thinking about it like, okay, let's think. Like, if I'm slotting in Godwin for where Jefferson is right now, do I have, like, let's say DJ Moore, I don't know, is my wide receiver 2. Do I feel confident with that wide receiver room if I get to add Kenneth Walker? Maybe. I think right now I would probably go Walker and Godwin. Is that maybe recency bias because Kenneth Walker just had like this insane game? Possibly. But Godwin has looked really good. He's put up pretty consistent numbers. The Buccaneers in general have looked good. I don't think they're going to be like dying down anytime soon. And I think Kenneth Walker will end up being a solid play. It doesn't seem like Zach Charbonnet is going to take much of his touches. So like I could see Kenneth Walker end of the year points per game basis being just like as similar to Justin Jefferson and the same as Justin Jefferson. So yeah, I think we do go right side. I was starting to lean Jefferson in the beginning just because of like, elite type player guy, wide receiver 1, the name. Yeah. But I think with the way people are performing at this current moment, you kind of almost have to go to the right side.
I think that's a good like sell high on Jefferson almost. Capitalize on that value. You don't know, like you didn't expect him to be this good this year, and then you get someone that's Walker who's been outperforming, who I think he's definitely solidified himself as like a top 5 running back this year. And then Godwin also.
Yeah. I think the one thing I don't necessarily agree with you on is that like, Sam Darnold's going to fall off, whatever, they could get worse. Maybe that's true. I don't necessarily know if that means Justin Jefferson's going to get worse. Like he's that kind of alpha type guy. I think he'll be fine no matter what. I think the Vikings could get worse, but I don't know if Jefferson necessarily will.
Yeah, honestly, if Darnold starts playing a little bit worse and throwing some more picks, Jefferson could get better.
Throw the ball all the time.
Yes. Aaron Jones is going to fall off.
There you go.
Here first. Do we have any more, or is that the last one?
That's all she wrote. Thank you
right, well, that
for
was
watching.
That.
So, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for sticking around with us, everyone. Put some recent trades in the comments on what you've been offered or what you've been sent out, and we could all discuss in the comments. Other than that, make sure you sign up on Underdog with the code HighBarRed. And yeah, stay tuned for next week. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those noties. Anything else, AJ?
Sounds good to me. Thanks for watching.